Before the episode begins, I'd like to give special thanks to Martin Tolberg for his help in the research for this battle. He worked really hard to help me figure out the winner, and I really appreciate the effort. Thank you for all your work. The hunt is a thing that attracts many to its call, either for a worthy challenge or just to make a quick buck. Like Boba Fett, the galaxy's greatest bounty hunter, and the Predator, the most feared hunters in the galaxy. Now, since there is no singular predator to do research on, we'll combine information from the whole species. And since the canon Boba Fett has very little info to work with, we'll be using the Legends information as well. I'm one fish mob, and it's my job to see who would win in a fight. Long ago in a galaxy far, far away, there lived an infamous bounty hunter, Jango Fett. Widely regarded as the best in the galaxy, it was no wonder people wanted to have his experience on the battlefield. So it wasn't surprising that he was given a proposition. He'd be cloned and he'd train the results in return for a significant payment. Jango Fett agreed, but only on one term. He'd get the first clone, and after a while, his clone was created and was raised by Jango Fett as his son, Boba Fett. And as the years went by, Boba Fett grew up to be an impressive bounty hunter, even taking his now late father's mantle as the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. But he can't be as efficient as he is if he's just a normal person. Boba Fett's strong enough to knock Luke Skywalker to the ground in one strike. He was able to defeat both Bossk and Dengar, and once even shot himself through a Rancor. He dodges gunfire on a daily basis, escaped an exploding spaceship, and blitzed entire groups of bounty hunters and rebel troopers, and tanks explosions and laser fire on a regular basis. He's an extremely cunning tactician, has repaired his entire ship by himself several times, and is able to outsmart several bounty hunters. Boba Fett's also able to fight with the best of the best, is proficient in stealth, resistant to telepathy, and, most notably, a skilled marksman, having used every weapon imaginable, hitting his targets without fail. Speaking of which, let's talk about his arsenal. He wears Mandalorian armor composed of a material that's heavier but more durable than titanium. And with the addition of a power armor liner shirt, micro energy field projector, 2 layers of ceramic plates, and reinforced armor mesh, this makes the armor blaster, lightsaber fire, corrosive, heat, and cold resistant, and limits how much damage Boba Fett receives. He also wears the modified helmet, which automatically adjusts to different lighting conditions, picks up and amplifies minute sounds, and compensates for pressure changes. It also includes a HUD system, which includes information about the surrounding environment, a radar capable of giving info on nearby rooms, a macro binocular view plate to see over great distances, infrared scanners, a rangefinder, a filter system to nullify potential airborne contaminants, and is able to detect weak points. But when it comes to weapons, his preferred tool is the EE-3 carbine rifle. With a range of 45 meters, it's able to fire up to 50 shots and is powerful enough to blast off limbs or disintegrate targets. He also carries a Sacros K11 disintegrator, able to fire 100 shots with a range of up to 120 meters. His main mode of transportation is his jetpack, which lets him fly for a minute straight and can reach speeds of 90 miles per hour. It even contains a homing missile powerful enough to blow up an entire alleyway. And if he just wants to inflict pain, he can use his Amban Phase Pulse Blaster for powerful electric shocks. He uses a sniper rifle for long-range shots, a flame projector to char his foes, a wrist laser darts to stun targets, a fiber cord whip for ensnaring foes or quick escapes, and a mini rocket launcher that fires tiny missiles powerful enough to blast droids to pieces. Other equipment in his arsenal are knives, knee-pad-based rocket dart launchers, tracking beacons, knockout gas, thermal detonators, flashbang grenades, stasis field mines, and EMP grenades. And when he does need to go toe-to-toe, he carries a lightsaber, a futuristic laser sword that's able to cut through almost anything, though it is used as a last resort weapon. Boba Fett's shown himself time and time again why he is the best of the best. He's formed a syndicate of bounty hunters, nearly killed Luke Skywalker, survived the Sarlacc pit multiple times, became the leader of the Mandalorian Protectors, and has even fought Darth Vader twice. But Boba Fett is far from the perfect bounty hunter. Though he knows how to, he's not as well adept in close quarters combat as he is at long range. He's had no formal training since Jango's death. He prefers using his wits to overcome adversaries, and his weapons aren't as durable as his armor. Heck, even his armor can eventually be worn down after enough damage. But Boba Fett's proven himself to be a worthy foe for anyone. Once he has his sights on you, there is no escape.
But I want them alive. No disintegrations.
As you wish.
Somewhere out in space lives a race of aliens feared by all. They see you, but you can't see them. And by the time you realize they're there, it's far too late. I am of course referring to the Yautja, or as most know them as, the Predator. Native to the planet, what else, Yautja Prime, their culture centers around the ritualistic hunting of other dangerous life forms, even if they have to travel huge distances and even entire galaxies in order to find a worthy challenge. They'll even kidnap and transport prey across an equally similar distance to hunt them in an environment of their choice. But finding worthy prey can be a challenge, especially if you're as powerful as one of them. They're able to tear out spines with one hand, rip reinforced steel doors off their hinges, and can take down large game on foot. They're so tough, they are more or less bulletproof, and have survived missile explosions, high falls, are unharmed by fire. Heck, they've been known to endure bone-breaking and gut-tearing injuries and somehow still live. But they aren't just tough. They're said to move faster than the eye can track. They've outran explosions, blitzed soldiers before they can even pull their triggers, can jump up buildings with ease. It's even been stated that they can dodge bullets if they see them coming. The Predators will typically use these abilities in tandem with the skills they learn. Since Yautja culture itself centers on hunting, they usually incorporate stealth and cunning into their strategies and plans, using ambush, guerrilla, and psychological warfare in battle. And when it comes to battle, they are far from weak. Most Yautja are trained in their native martial art, Jedin, making them take to close quarter combat like fish to water. They're skilled enough to slay entire hordes of xenomorphs, cyborgs, and elite soldiers. Heck, they can even halt their own heartbeats to fool their prey. They even have higher mental capabilities than humans and can formulate plans whenever stealth is no longer an option. But every Yautja, regardless of clan, is bound to a code of honor, which forbids them from killing children, unarmed adults, pregnant females, and the elderly. And should they be challenged to a fair hand-to-hand fight, they will often abide, even stripping themselves of most of their technology. Speaking of their technology, let's talk about that. All Yautja hunters carry a biomask, which grants the wearer access to multiple vision modes, thermal being used the most often. It can pinpoint possible weapons and threats, locate heartbeats, and can teach the wearer about their prey's weaknesses, genetics, physiology, and equipment. Their main weapon are their wrist blades. Stated to be harder than diamond, they're sharp enough to pierce tank armor, cut bone, and surgically sever muscles, ligaments, and cartilage. Their plate armor is made of an alien metal called Dlex. a material harder and lighter than anything on Earth. No known human weapon can damage or pierce the metal, and can reflect automatic fire and withstand xenomorph blood. The cloaking device wraps light around their body, making them invisible to the naked eye, and is very effective against video feeds and electrical monitoring. But the Yautja's most valuable tool is easily the wrist gauntlet. Surgically grafted onto the individual's arm, it's linked directly to the biomask's functions, and houses a SATCOM device to gain a 3D scan of the area it's in. Other weapons include the Power Punch Gauntlet, which enhances their striking capabilities. The Medicomp is used to patch up wounds they may receive. The Spear Gun launches a razor-sharp spike with enough force to shatter concrete. And for ensnaring prey, they can fire a self-tightening net that's nearly impossible to cut through with readily available equipment. The Combi Stick can electrocute targets and be thrown like a spear. Some will even carry a whip used for slicing through prey like butter. The Smart Disc is used like a boomerang and melee weapon, and upgraded versions can cut at the molecular level. They also carry all kinds of proximity mines, ranging from laser mines for trapping and slicing, fire mines to set victims ablaze, EMP mines to disable machines, plasma mines to envelop and vaporize the target, and sonic mines to disable organic prey. But undoubtedly, the most dangerous weapon any Yautja have is the Plasma Caster. As the name suggests, it fires a condensed blast of plasma that can be charged for explosive results. The plasma blasts themselves are potent enough to fragment an Apache helicopter in a single shot, is accurate enough to tag minigun barrels, and blow off limbs at its weakest. But if they need to get rid of any trace of their existence, they have two methods. The first is the dissolving liquid, a concentrated fluid enzyme capable of dissolving tissue, and is potent enough to vaporize an entire pool of water and melt xenomorph bodies. And it can even be used as a weapon if desperate enough. But when situations get dire, or they have been beaten, they can activate their self-destruct device in an attempt to try and kill their prey, while simultaneously removing all evidence that they were there to begin with. And when I mean remove, I mean remove. The Yautja have certainly earned the title of most feared hunters in the galaxy. They fight xenomorphs as a way of life, have been worshipped as gods and deities, and have fought an absurd amount of enemies, from colonial marines, to mechas, to Terminators, Superman, Batman, Tarzan, while in Pellucidar, the Justice League, Archie, and even freaking dinosaurs. The Yautja may seem unstoppable, but the predator can easily become the prey if they're not careful. They have difficulty breathing properly in places lacking in methane traces without the biomask. Some can be overconfident and toy with their prey, and somewhat reliant on their technology, and their honor code can be used against them. But as you've just learned, the Yautja have certainly earned the title of Predator. Alright, the combatants are set. This battle will have no prep time, no outside help, or home field advantage. Let the battle begin.
Fight!
Well, looks like hunting season's over for this bounty hunter. Anyways, both Boba Fett and the Predator possess an impressive legacy, and Boba Fett's armor did offer the best overall protection. The Predator ultimately held more of the advantage in many other ways. Boba Fett's arsenal may have been intimidating, but the Predator's was ultimately more effective, allowing him to keep track of what his opponent was doing, be a lot more unpredictable, and utilize the environment in a way Boba Fett couldn't. And in terms of overall skill, the Predator was more than capable of working around Boba Fett's gear more easily than Boba Fett could with the Predators. And while Boba Fett hasn't been formally trained since Jango's death, and is technically just using experience gained from being a clone, the Predator's race have always been hunters since the beginning and are trained since birth. And while Boba Fett has faced powerful opponents like Darth Vader, the Predator has also faced plenty of powerful foes as well. In the end, it was ultimately a matter of time until the Predator forced Boba Fett into a hand-to-hand conflict. And while Boba Fett has trained in close quarters combat, he relies mostly on his gear and equipment to win most of his battles, while the Predator takes the close quarters combat like a fish does the water. And while Boba Fett is a cunning fighter, the Predator is able to take down entire groups of people without getting hurt, with just his hunting knowledge alone. Add to that the Predator's superior strengths and close quarters weapons being hard and strong enough to break through Fett's armor, you've got a hunt doomed from the start. Looks like the bounty hunter has become the bounty hunted. The winner is the Predator.